They've won their last 8 appearances in the conference championship game. Dabo Swinney 8-1 all time. Lost in his first trip to the title game against Georgia Tech in 2009, which was his first full season as head coach at Clemson. Chilly night here in Charlotte. That might have kept the crowd down just a little bit. SMU won the toss, selected to receive, get that high-flying offense on the field first, engineered by Kevin Jennings. They have dangerous return men back deep, including Brashard Smith. Robert Gunn is the kickoff man. It's almost always a touchback when he kicks off, and this one will be as well. So here come the Mustangs, led by Jennings, redshirt sophomore from Oak Cliff, Texas, in Dallas, about 12 miles away from their campus in Highland Park in the Dallas suburbs. Was the backup to start the year behind the returning starter Preston Stone. But when they lost to BYU in the 3rd game of the year and struggled to score, Jennings came into that game in relief. He became the starter, and he's been the starter ever since. They have Roderick Daniels Jr. lining up in the backfield. It's a handoff to Brashard Smith, who lined up out wide, and he has a quality gain on the first play from scrimmage of 13, knocked down by the freshman linebacker Sammy Brown.
This SMU offense has a ton of speed, and they like to utilize tempo.
They go very quickly. Smith lined up as the running back now. They script the first 15 plays. Casey Woods, the offensive coordinator, told us last night they try to get 7 different players touches in the first 15 plays because they have a lot of weapons on the perimeter. So far it's 2 carries for Smith. Under pressure, Jennings stripped by TJ Parker. Clemson says it has the ball, and the Tigers do. Parker knocked it out, and he recovered.
And he just goes right around the left tackle, Savion Byrd. Jennings never feels him. Parker is able to get that right hand and dislodge the football. And then he turns over and then recovers it himself. What a tremendous play by TJ Parker, who at times could take over the game.
His 6th forced fumble of the season. That is the single season Clemson record. And they've been taking it away with great regularity, especially lately. P.J. Williams is an injured player for SMU. They're starting right tackle. And he is helped off the field. Transferred from Texas A&M. They mixed and matched the offensive line through the first 5 games of the season or so. And then they settled on the alignment that they're playing with tonight. Williams started the first 3 games at left tackle, moved to right tackle.
That was the big question coming into tonight, too, is SMU has not seen a defensive front that is as active and disruptive as Clemson. How would their offensive line hold up? And so far, obviously early in the game, it's advantage Clemson Tigers.
They take over at the 33 with Cade Klubnik, the quarterback, Phil Maffa fighting through a banged-up shoulder, the running back. Plenty of time, and now Klubnik taken down. The ball's out again, and they're ruling him down by contact after a loss of 2. Elijah Roberts there to put a big hit on part of a very big and strong defensive front for SMU.
And Elijah Roberts saw that all the way and was ripping for the football. That left knee down right there, and looks like Klubnik still has possession.
Roberts is a defensive end, and he's 295 pounds. Looked like a design quarterback draw. Instead, it's a pass and a touchdown. Bryant Wesco, 35 yards. Wesco, the touchdown, is 4th of his true freshman season. He grew up in the Dallas area, Midlothian, Texas. The extra point is good by Nolan Hooser. Now, he spoke to the defensive coordinator for SMU, Scott Simons, yesterday. He said, when I watched the tape, I wonder, why didn't we recruit number 12?
And this is just a great job by Cade Klubnik. As soon as he takes off, look at all the defenders fly up. He's got a guy wide open, puts his hand up. Klubnik wisely decides to pull the ball back up and throw it downfield for the touchdown. Very fortunate that there were no offensive linemen downfield, because it looked like that was a designed run all the way, and then a bust defensively
no question.
led to the easy touchdown.
He said one of his biggest concerns in this game was the quarterback run, particularly quarterback draw, run by Cade Klubnik. And it started out looking like that's what it was going to be. Ends up as a broken play touchdown. Klubnik's 30th touchdown pass of the season. That's 4th most in the country. Gun again. And it is a touchback. First season for SMU in the ACC. What a year it's been. They won the American Athletic Conference last year, beating Tulane in the championship game at Tulane. Officially joined the conference in July. Rhett Lashley's led them now to back-to-back 11-win seasons for the first time in school history. And as we said, 9-0 since Jennings became the starter. They're averaging 39 points per game. 4th in the country. Only Miami, Indiana, and Notre Dame better. Rashard Smith stopped for a 1-yard loss. Sammy Brown in on the tackle again, just named during the week as the Defensive Rookie of the Year for Clemson. Rhett Lashley, the head coach, calls the plays for SMU with help from his offensive staff.
Pretty disastrous start so far for SMU. So Rhett Lashley hoping that his quarterback, Kevin Jennings, who's described as cool and as poised as it gets, hoping they can calm down and settle in.
L.J. Johnson in. He pitched it to Daniels, who looks to throw it. And it's way out of bounds. Probably a throwaway. Threw in the direction of Romello Brinson, who played in the first 4 games of the year and has not played since. They wanted to redshirt him, as they have great depth at wide receiver. But once you get to this part of the year, you don't have to worry about the 4-game maximum. Here's 3rd down and 11.
And these are the downs that SMU is going to have to avoid throughout the course of the game. 3rd and long, obvious passing situations. Against this pass rush, it's a lot of pressure on that offensive line.
Just a 3-man rush. Jennings down the middle and broken up by Wade Woodaz. Looked like Roderick Daniels was open and would have made the catch if Woodaz had not gotten a hand on it.
And his eyes are in the backfield the whole way. He feels that receiver pushing up through the middle of the defense. He watches it, times the jump perfectly, and gets a piece of it. What a terrific start for Clemson's defense.
Such a good athlete as Woodaz, who arrived as a safety. He grew into the linebacker spot, and he's one of the best in the country, their leading tackler. Isaac Pearson. Low wobbly punt. Antonio Williams caught it at the 36. Antonio Williams with a flag down. Goes down inside the 45-yard line of SMU. Matthew Hibner made the tackle. 41-yard punt, 28-yard return. But there is the flag. The crew led by Adam Savoie.
During the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team number 23. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, timeout on the field.
Called on Isaiah Wacobia, their standout defensive back. So great field position again for the Clemson Tigers when we come back. Let's bring in Matt Austin to tell us about this penalty against SMU, Matt.
Yeah, down at the bottom right of the screen, you can see the offensive player's helmet came off. He can't put it back on and participate. It's a 15-yard penalty. The reason it is because the defense can't hit him if he does not have a helmet on, so it's 15 yards either way, whoever hits whom. So it's a good call.
And it takes the ball down to the 28-yard line. And some trickery. The flip to Wesco. He can fly. Wesco dragged down from behind after an 11-yard run and a first down. Cale Sanders might have saved a touchdown for the Mustangs with that tackle.
You can really sense the urgency now from Clemson. I mean, really a good starting football team. Their defense in particular, SMU's been one of the best, and Clemson jumping out like this, man, has SMU all sorts of scrambling.
If you're wondering where the play clock is, they're having a problem with it. It's being kept on the field. Klubnik got it off just in the nick of time. First and goal down to the 5-yard line on the catch by T.J. Moore, another true freshman like Wesco. This one a 12-yard gain, and they'll go quickly to line up again.
That was a terrific job by Cade Klubnik. Pressure right in his face, stood in there tall, and delivered an accurate strike for first and goal.
Getting the play call from Garrett Riley, the offensive coordinator. He was once the OC at SMU. Maffa, the running back, on first and goal. Nightmarish start for SMU, trying to minimize the damage. Maffa stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Heading into the Pittsburgh game 3 games ago, he was averaging 109 yards per game. A lot of the coaches we talked to around the ACC said he's the best running back in the league. The shoulder problem, and lately the production just not there at all.
And he's really, his best attribute at 230 pounds is running through contact. He hasn't had a lot of success with that as well, so really dropped off. Offensive line being a little bit up and down as well have contributed.
Klubnik, quick throw down to the goal line. Touchdown, Jake Brittingstool. Nolan Hooser, the true freshman, adds the extra point. Just more than 4 minutes gone by. 14-0 Clemson, about a 2.5-point underdog in this matchup.
And look how quickly Cade Klubnik's able to catch that ball and release it. With how quickly it comes out, doesn't ever even find the laces or anything. With how quickly he releases that football, it gives his weapon, Brittingstool in this situation, time to catch it with some room and some space to create some forward momentum. And at 250 pounds nearly, the tight end's not going to be stopped at the goal line. Just an ideal start for the Clemson Tigers.
Brittingstool's 16th career touchdown catch, second all-time among Clemson tight ends, 2 behind Jordan Leggett. He's in the top 10 all-time in ACC history for touchdown receptions among tight ends. Started tonight, number 9. Robert Gunn, the touchback. So here comes SMU for the 3rd time. Dabo Swinney in his 16th full season as head coach, making his 10th appearance. There have been 20 ACC Championship games, including tonight. He's been the head coach in 10 of them. Won the last 8. And in a lot of them, they've been blowouts, including the last time they were here 2 years ago when Klubnik came off the bench, led them to a 39-10 victory over Drake May in North Carolina. Kevin Jennings on the run, and it's dropped by Roderick Daniels. Well, you wonder about nerves relative to SMU. Rhett Lashley said he wasn't really concerned about it. They played in the championship game last year. Felt like they practiced well. No noticeable anxiety, but they're playing like a team that's a little jittery to start, knowing everything that's at stake.
Yeah, I mean, that was their 7th drop of the season. They have the 3rd fewest drops in the country. So just to show you just how out of character that performance up to this point has been.
As we've seen, here comes a blitz. Jennings throws it, caught for a first down. Moochie Dixon swung down after a 13-yard gain. Well, the coaches say the stage won't be too big for Jennings. One of the things they love about him is his emotions almost never change. He is extremely cool. Back shoulder throw again for Dixon, ruled a catch to the 48-yard line of the Tigers.
Already a pretty impressive response from Jennings. A couple very accurate throws. One that was dropped, but got him in a little rhythm now offensively.
They line up in a pistol after a 15-yard gain. Flip forward to Jordan Hudson. And nothing doing there. He ran into Sammy Brown.
Sammy Brown has such a bright future. Young player, already makes so many impact plays. Just the unfortunate thing, you'd think he'd play all the time. Most places he would, but with the outstanding linebackers they have, has had kind of a difficult time carving out a featured role. But man, when he's in there, you certainly notice the difference that he can make.
Very highly recruited, won the Butkus Award as the best high school linebacker last year. Here's Brashard Smith spinning for another Mustang first down. 10-yard gain for Smith. First year at SMU, transfer from Miami. They have 9 former Miami Hurricanes on this SMU team. In a blur, they're back over the ball, and another ball that's not caught by Smith, who was exclusively a wide receiver at Miami. As a matter of fact, they weren't going to take him in the transfer portal because they had all of their wide receivers back from a year ago. But after talking to Brashard, the coaches talked amongst themselves. They asked him, would you be willing to be a running back? And it was a learning process. Brett Lashley told us in the spring, Brashard Smith didn't even know what the A-gap was.
Not really part of the job description for a wide receiver, knowing the gaps up front, but man, he's been great.
And he is a playmaker with speed and shiftiness, and has really just had a nice knack for understanding where the runs are supposed to go. He was credited with a 2-yard gain there. And he's had one of the best seasons in SMU history. More than 1,700 all-purpose yards now. The most for a Mustang since a guy named Eric Dickerson had 1,677 back in 1982. 4-man rush. Jennings fires on target. And lunging for a first down is Romello Brinson, another Miami transfer, played in the first 4 games of the year, sat out to protect a red shirt, and has the catch. Good for 10.
This has been a really nice response from SMU's offense. Everything in the blender those first couple possessions, but now you see how quickly Kevin Jennings is getting rid of the football. That's imperative. They know they have a disadvantage against Clemson's defensive line with their offensive line, so he's got to get rid of it quick and make sharp decisions for Rhett Lashley.
There's a blitz off the corner, and Smith gets knocked down after a 1-yard gain. Woodaz, who was the blitzer off the corner, rallied to the ball. Junior from Tampa did not play against Pittsburgh late in the year and against the Citadel. Returned last week against South Carolina. Battled an ugly contusion on his leg. His entire leg was black and blue.
He's excellent too. Just a playmaker at the second level, and probably one of the best linebacker trios in the country with Barrett Carter, Wade Woodaz, and Sammy Brown.
Design run for Jennings. He has a hole down the sideline and into the end zone. Kevin Jennings, a 24-yard touchdown run. And an impressive response by the Mustangs with everything going against them early.
Just a thing of beauty on quarterback counter, but watch also number 8, the wide receiver Jordan Hudson, how he just cleans out R.J. Mickens. Didn't account for him initially, and then he hammers him, which allows Jennings to get to the edge, and the Mustangs are on the board.
5th rushing touchdown of the year for Jennings. Extra point good by Colin Rogers. And the Ponies go 75 yards in 11 plays, led by their poised redshirt sophomore quarterback Kevin Jennings. 14-7 Clemson. This SMU team, the return of the Pony Express in the early 1980s. Both Craig James and Eric Dickerson are here tonight enjoying the success of this Mustang team. Eric Dickerson said a few weeks ago, thanked the team for making him proud to be a Pony again. Of course, during that era, they wound up as a result of things that happened going into the death penalty. It took a long time to recover. Before the game, Rhett Lashley talking to his team.
And we fight as one unit, one team. Remember, we control how hard we play, we control how physical we play, and we control how we respond to everything that gets thrown at us. I love you guys. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. Let's go get it done.
They had about as much thrown at them as they could to start the game. Turnover in their first possession. Clemson took over the 33. Second possession, Clemson after a punt return and a penalty at the end of it. Started at the +28, scored touchdowns both times. Starting from their own 25, Jay Haynes in for Phil Maffa, and he gets 3. Here's Molly.
Well, Sean, the message on SMU's sideline is all about response. When the Mustangs started moving the ball, defensive players told each other, we'll be okay. We're settling in. We got this. Drawing confidence from their offense. Coaches trying to calm them down, saying the offense bounced back. Now it's our turn.
Let's go, team!
Rhett Lashley, impressive. 41-year-old Arkansas native. There's the quarterback draw they were afraid of. And a big hit by the Stanford transfer, Jonathan McGill, after a 6-yard run by Klubnik. Rhett Lashley, far and away the ACC Coach of the Year. Was nearly unanimous as they went 8-0 in league play, their first year in the league. By far the best jump, sorry Greg, a team making a jump from a group of 5 conference to a Power 5 conference. Most successful transition of that kind ever. Klubnik tackled by Isaiah Smith, but it's a first down.
What a job Rhett Lashley's done. I mean, just incredible. Putting the roster together and understanding the league as well as he did. Having been at Miami, that was clearly, as the offensive coordinator, very helpful to kind of know the league and what would win and what players he would need. So he's done a terrific job and should be very proud of what he's built already.
Another team to go undefeated in its conference in a Power 4 conference is Oregon. The only undefeated team in FBS overall. They'll put that on the line tonight. They are in the Big Ten championship game. Brenningstool, the intended receiver, and Ahmad Moses broke it up. They studied other teams that made a transition recently from the group of 5 into a power conference, and he said, Rhett Lashley, one of the things those coaches told him, including his mentor Gus Malzahn, you have to beef up on the lines of scrimmage. The players in the league you're going to are going to be bigger and stronger. And there's that strong defensive front led by Jared Harrison Hunt, a transfer from Miami. He was first team All-ACC this year. Dropped that play, dropped Haynes for a loss.
Yeah, and this whole defensive front does such a great job for SMU. They are deep, they are disruptive, and they are extremely athletic. So they believe they actually have an advantage against Clemson's offensive line as well.
It's an enormous defensive front. Klubnik, they brought a blitz. He got hit as he throws, and it wobbles incomplete in the direction of Antonio Williams. Cameron Robertson, who's a backup defensive end, put the hit on Klubnik. There is a flag down.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 15. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And he crashes down inside and goes right through between the guard and the center. He hits Klubnik, and it's tough to see from that point. Does he land on Klubnik with all of his body weight? Does he slam him to the ground? And it does look like there he does land with all that body weight on top of the quarterback. And that's what resulted in the call that Rhett Lashley is furious about.
What they used to call football. Jay Haynes, the ball carrier. Rhett Lashley still upset. I mean, my question for Matt Austin would be, yeah, he landed on him, but it also looked like he tried to take his left arm off him as he was taking him to the ground. Should that be considered, you know, as an attempt to not slam him into the ground?
I like this call. I agree with Greg. He put all of his weight on there, and especially with the quarterback going down on the side, you're looking at a catastrophic shoulder injury possibly. So I like that call.
All right, thank you. 2nd and 7 now. They're back across midfield for the 3rd time in as many possessions. Haynes, the ball carrier. And it looks like they might be moving on to Haynes from Maffa. He's a speedy redshirt freshman. They think he can be a home run hitter with his speed.
Yeah, they still want to make sure that Maffa has a piece, but Haynes is someone they plan on featuring in this run game. So Haynes will take some of the load, and then Cade Klubnik will also be very impactful with his legs as well. He might run it here on a third and short.
Almost a straight line of Mustangs across the line of scrimmage, then several drop out. Down the seam, Wesco breaks free and scores his 2nd touchdown of the game. This one 43 yards.
This is just a disguise, but they can't get deep enough, and Wesco's able to just split it right there. They're trying to show like they're going to blitz, and they can't get over the top of Wesco. It's a perfect throw by Cade Klubnik. You cannot throw that ball any better, and Wesco breaks a tackle, and he's off to the races. The disguise does not pay off there.
Deuce Harmon had a chance to make the tackle and did not. If there's been a weakness of the SMU defense, it's been cornerback play, although their coaches say that's been better down the stretch. Wesco, his 2nd touchdown. 21-7 Clemson. Klubnik has thrown 3 against Rhett Lashley's team. Tomorrow, the exclusive reveal of the final college football playoff top 25 rankings in a 4-hour special. Reese, Greg, the guys will unveil, break down, react to the matchups in the inaugural 12-team playoff field. That's at noon on ESPN and the app after Sunday NFL Countdown. Robert Gunn kicks off again. He's leg weary already. It's a touchback. Here's Kevin Nagandi. All right, gentlemen, thank you. Here it's 21-7. SMU came in giving up just under 20 points per game, #1 in the conference in scoring defense. But the Tigers have 3 touchdowns already, still 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Jennings on the run, nice catch. First down for Daniels out to the 43-yard line. An 18-yard pickup for SMU.
These first 12 minutes are any indicator. This might become a bit of a track meet, my friend. These offenses and quarterbacks are on fire.
In a game between the 2 best scoring defenses in the ACC. Jennings throws on the run. Crowd was oohing and ahhing. There must have been a big hit somewhere. Perhaps they wanted a holding call against Savion Byrd, who was engaged with TJ Parker. Predominantly a pro-Clemson crowd here. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from their campus in South Carolina to here in Charlotte, which is on the border of South Carolina. They crowd the line of scrimmage, do the Tigers. Rashard Smith couldn't break free. Barrett Carter finished him off. First team all-conference at the linebacker spot in his final season as a Clemson Tiger.
Big down here for this SMU offense. Defense so far has no answers for Clemson's attack, so got to make sure you can keep up. And 3rd and long is very difficult for Kevin Jennings against this pass rush.
2 receivers wide to either side, and now they go empty with Brashard Smith in the right slot. Jennings a lot of time and now running out of it. They rushed 3 originally, then Wood has joined the party, and Jennings threw an interception. Just trying to throw it away, and he threw it to Khalil Barnes.
Just a 3-man rush this time from Clemson's defense, so Jennings knows he has some time, but he leaves the pocket too soon. This accelerates the process, which allows Woodaz to come and attack him and forces him to try to throw it away, but what a disastrous decision by Jennings. His eyes were to the left, throws it to the right, never sees Barnes, who picks it off. And Rhett Lashley's offense has now given the ball to Clemson multiple times with great field position.
There's a conversation about whether or not it was an incomplete pass. Did it hit the ground before Barnes, the sophomore, got his hands under it?
And from that angle, it doesn't look like there's any part of that ball that hits the ground. It feels like Barnes is able to go down and grasp it and control that ball before it goes through his arms.
If it stands, it'll be his 4th interception of the year, and his 2nd in as many games. He had what looked to be a very big interception last week against South Carolina when he picked off Lenoris Sellers early in the 4th quarter with Clemson protecting a 14-7 lead. A lead they squandered, and they don't do that very often.
After further review, it's an interception. 1st down.
It was just the 5th time under Dabo Swinney they had blown a lead of 7 points or more in a 4th quarter. Matt, you had a chance to listen into the conversation with the ACC replay folks.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Originally, that we all thought that the call in the field was a catch. The officials on the field overturned it fairly quickly. Replay officials had already had a good look at it, made the determination they were going to stop it if they went with the incomplete pass, which they did. So they stopped it and were able to make the decision very quickly that it was a catch.
And you agree with it?
Absolutely.
So they start in SMU territory for the 3rd time in 4 possessions. Cade Klubnik hit as he throws again, and it's broken up. Intended for Jake Brenningstool, and a diving breakup by Kobe Wilson.
So far, they've really tried to make Brenningstool a big part of this plan so far. This SMU linebacker core a little bit undersized. It's a good play there by Kobe Wilson. He's giving up 6 inches to Brenningstool, so you would anticipate Brenningstool getting more looks throughout the game.
They give it to Jay Haynes, and he's down near the 40. Cade Klubnik, 3 touchdown passes already. He is the first quarterback ever to throw 3 touchdown passes in a single quarter, in any quarter of an ACC championship game. And this is the 20th edition. Picking up right where he left off in the stadium 2 years ago when he came off the bench in relief of DJ Uiagalelei for the 3rd drive of the game against North Carolina and led them to victory over the Tar Heels. And he has been the starter ever since. Haynes remains the running back. There's Brenningstool right on cue from Greg McElroy to the 32 and a 1st down. 8-yard gain.
And they blitz off the edge, which means Brenningstool is just going to wrap right around here. Knows that there's really nowhere that Cade Klubnik's going to be looking other than there.
A fake handoff. Here's Antonio Williams, dumped at the line of scrimmage, maybe even just behind it by Isaiah Wacobia. 1st team all-conference defensive back this season. One of the best defensive backs in the country, redshirt junior from Dallas.
And that secondary, they have their hands full against this outstanding group of pass catchers. 3 wide receivers, a tight end that can all really hurt you through the air.
The blitz. Klubnik, wide open receivers. T.J. Moore. And a good tackle to stop him short of the line to gain by Cale Sanders. Transfer from Fresno State.
Pretty impressive so far. I mean, Cade Klubnik, he's on fire, and he's gotten hit a bunch. I mean, SMU's had unblocked linebackers blitzing multiple times. He's been able to beat them with the throw, so he's clearly seeing the field really well tonight and being very decisive by getting rid of it quickly.
SMU hoping the hits might take their toll over time. Right now they're just trying to hang in there with Klubnik and the Tigers. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. This is Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
The momentum in your favor. How do you convert on third down here?
Well, we gotta just execute. That's it. We've been executing really well. These first 3 drives, defense got 2 big turnovers, gave up 1 big play, and right now we're winning the big play margin. That's going to be and the turnover margin. So, long way to go. This is a very explosive team. We just got to find a way right here to get these 3 yards. We're in scoring position, so no negative plays. See if we can go get another one.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
They are in field goal range. They're playing without Phil Maffa, their top running back. Back shoulder throw went through the hands of T.J. Moore. Deuce Harmon had the coverage. It's the first time Clemson has not converted on third down. They're 3 out of 4 now, and all 4 of them have been 3 yards or fewer.
And it was a nice throw, too, by Klubnik. He put it right on the back shoulder, and that's one that Moore should probably reel in.
Here's Nolan Hooser, the true freshman. They've had problems with blocked field goals. He's had 5 of them blocked, with pressure mostly from the left side of their protection unit. And there was plenty of pressure there, and it's wide right. So the protection issues continue. The field goal kicking woes continue as well.
And there's pressure off the left-hand side again, and I have to wonder if Hooser could kind of feel that, because he kind of pushed it out to the right. That thing never really had a chance, and really it was horribly protected by Clemson's field goal unit.
Both Deuce Harmon and Ahmad Moses had significant penetration. So a stop for SMU, one they desperately needed. Jennings has turned it over twice already. And he's been down this road before. He hands it off to Brashard Smith, trying to bounce outside, and does. Davion Terrell knocks him out of bounds, but it's a 12-yard run and a first down for the Mustangs. Jennings had a 5-turnover game against Duke at midseason. They committed 6 turnovers as a team, lost the turnover margin 6-0, and won the game. Roderick Daniels, tough run after the catch, and he fought his way to the 43-yard line. 20-yard gain.
You referenced that -6 turnover margin game. First team in college football in 14 years to do that. -6 and still win.
Yep. And before that, it's Jordan Hudson running out of bounds. Teams in this century that were -6 or worse in turnover margin in the FBS were 1 and 124. The only win was the one you referenced. Marshall was -6 and beat Memphis back in 2011. Rashard Smith carries. And the point is, as the coach has said, doesn't faze Kevin Jennings. He just continues to bounce back and play. They blocked a late field goal at the end of regulation to force overtime against a very good Duke team that finished 9-3. Trey Williams, backup defensive lineman, is the injured player.
I think that's the next layer too. You referenced it was -6 against Duke, who's a 9-3 football team.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the narrative is, oh, the ACC isn't that good. And I think that's very unfair to teams like Duke and Louisville. We saw how good Georgia Tech was, the game they probably should have won on Thanksgiving weekend against Georgia. But there's the note that we were just mentioning. And that was at mid-season. That was the 5th of their now 9 straight wins. 1st and 10. The Mustangs on the move. Jennings is 7 out of 12 for 84 in the bad interception. He's lost a fumble. He's been sacked once. This play in trouble, and Daniels dropped for a loss by T.J. Parker. One of the best defensive ends in the country for a 5-yard loss.
And he sees it the whole way. He sees the motion initiate. He stays wide and drops him for a big loss. Great play by Parker.
Just a sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama. 10 sacks. First Tiger with double figures in sacks since Cleveland Farrell at 11.5 back in 2018. Design rollout, pump fake. Jennings ran away from Cade Denhoff but couldn't stay in bounds after he had some room. Went out back at the 39. A 1-yard loss. They do have a field goal kicker with a huge leg. Colin Rogers has made 7 field goals of 50 plus.
They just know that they can make it from this distance, but if you're Kevin Jennings, quick reminder from his coordinator, Rhett Lash, you cannot take a sack here. You have to get positive yardage because a sack knocks us out of field goal range.
On the run, perhaps just trying to make it a slightly easier field goal for Rogers. There's a flag thrown very late from the official deep down the field on the far sideline. Sammy Brown made the tackle. And they've picked up the flag. Might have actually been a piece of equipment that was retrieved by one of the officials in the back. So here's Rogers. 7 50-yard plus field goals. The record is 8 by the great Fuad Revez for Tennessee way back in 1982. That one is just short from 53 yards. Really no breeze to speak of. It is a bit of a chilly night, and apparently Rogers didn't get quite all of that one.
Yeah, good snap, good hold, ball, little over-rotated, so might have caught it just a touch low, and as a result, it comes up short.
Look at you going all Joe Tessitore on me. Special teams analyst. And we hope you'll donate during V week. Here's Antonio Williams trying to turn the corner, and he could not. Terrific wide receiver, injury free this year, and he's had 66 catches, far and away their team lead. Turned first team all conference honors.
A little bit quiet so far for him, but it's only a matter of time, and he's electric in the slot. Lashley upset about something, not sure what he's mad about, but yelling at the officials.
Was definitely upset about that very important roughing the passer call. Phil Moffa's back in the game, blocking for Klubnik, who fumbled the football. And the Tigers believe they got it back. Ahmad Moses there to help knock it out. And it was recovered by Jake Brenningstool. So no action yet at club takeaway, as the SMU defense calls it when they get a turnover.
Just a perfect hit by Moses. I mean, shoulder right into the football. Well, lucky enough for Klubnik, his big physical tight end's there to jump on it.
Well, Clemson has been even or better in the turnover margin in each of their last 11 games, and they're +2 already tonight. 4-man rush. Klubnik steps up close to the line and throws it away just as he got to the line. Pursued by Ahmad Walker, talented senior linebacker, transfer from Liberty.
Both Walker and Wilson, both linebackers for SMU, really tall task tonight. Not only do they have to deal with the 6'6" Brenningstool, but you talk to the SMU coach, they're very concerned about Cade Klubnik's legs, and the linebackers are the ones that will have to neutralize that.
Jay Haynes in space. Into Mustang territory with a 3-yard gain to the 47. Tackled by the other linebacker, one of the team captains, Kobe Wilson. transfer from Temple, playing in his 56th college game. He's their leading tackler for the year. 3rd down and 7. The first 3rd down longer than 3 yards in the game. Pressure in his face, and it's broken up. Intended for Brenningstool and knocked away by Ahmad Moses.
And a blitz up front. You'll see a lot of movement up front from SMU, which forces the ball out of Klubnik's hands quickly. Moses knows that that ball's coming out, so he's squatting on it. He's not worried about getting beat deep. He makes a break on it, nearly had a big interception.
Here's the first punt of the night for Aiden Swanson, 6th-year Clemson punter, with Roderick Daniels Jr. back deep. He's returned one for a touchdown this year in their big rivalry game against TCU. Trying to deke the Clemson coverage team. And they down it inside the 10. 21-7 Clemson. It's a 39-yard punt. This is the ACC Championship Game, presented by Geico.
Countdown to the College Football Playoff National Championship, Monday, January 20th on ESPN.
Yeah, that's how I get by.
And in this ACC Championship Game, a matchup of 2 quarterbacks who hail from the state of Texas. They're in the same recruiting class, but at opposite ends of the recruiting spectrum. Cade Klubnik, one of the top recruits in the country, 3 times a state champion at Powerhouse Westlake in Austin. And Kevin Jennings, I didn't even know they got to 1,535. Those are Greg McElroy numbers. He was originally heading to play for Bobby Petrino at Missouri State, and was a very late change to SMU in his hometown of Dallas. Brashard Smith for 9. Matter of fact, Rhett Lashley had just gotten the head coaching job, came back from Miami, was the coordinator. About a week after returning to Dallas, he and Casey Woods, the offensive coordinator, went to a high school football game that involved South Oak Cliff High School, where Jennings played. They were going to look at other players. Brashard Smith stopped at the line by DeMonte Capehart. And about in the second quarter, Rhett Lashley turned to Casey Woods and said, "How come I can't get my eyes off the quarterback for South Oak Cliff? Let's find out more about him." They wound up offering him a scholarship. He elected to stay home, to the delight of his parents. And he has become a key factor in their success. They had 2nd and 1. Now they have 4th and 1 as Brashard Smith is stuffed. And Rhett Lashley has a decision to make, and it's going to be a punt.
And they just stuffed this right at the line of scrimmage. Nobody's there for Sammy Brown, who's able to just run right through it and hammer Brashard Smith right at the line to gain. And Sammy Brown at 240 pounds working against Brashard Smith, 40 pounds lighter. You're not going to be able to run through that contact and get the first down.
SMU 1 out of 5 on 3rd down. There's Isaac Pearson. Movement. At least the Tigers sideline thought so. They're hollering at the officials. Pearson, a good punt. And a fair catch signal was made by Williams. And then he got dumped. And there'll be a penalty. Jordan Hudson apparently didn't see the fair catch signal. 44-yard punt for Pearson. It was a coal miner in Australia, and they decided maybe punting in college football would be a better life.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team number 8. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Just a massive mistake again by SMU. Clear and obvious fair catch signal right there, but obviously Hudson never saw it, and this is now the 3rd 15-yard penalty that SMU has given Clemson, twice on a change of possession, which gives Clemson great field position in plus territory. Just can't make mistakes like that if you're Rhett Lashley's team.
There have been only 3 assessed penalties in the game, all against SMU, and as you said, all of them 15-yarders. They're coming off an easy win against Cal, 38-6, but in that game, their last regular season game, they committed 17 penalties, tying the school record. Klubnik on the run. 3-yard gain taken down by Alexander Kilgore.
Looked like Clemson was going for the jugular there, tried to hit Turner on a go ball deep downfield, but it was well defended, and Klubnik decides to take off. Garrett Riley trying to get aggressive with the great field position.
Riley spent 2 years with Sonny Dykes as offense coordinator at SMU, then went with Sonny to TCU. Phil Maffa. Limited action so far. That's just his 3rd carry. He got within 2 of the first down. 5-yard pickup for Maffa. His last season at Clemson. Graduate student on his way to the NFL.
Probably 2 downs to get it here for Maffa in this Clemson offense. Here inside the 40-yard line.
It is Maffa with a hole, and he has a first down. Dragged down by Elijah Roberts. It's a gain of 4 for Maffa.
And a really good job by the right side of the offensive line. Watch number 64, Walker Parks. He has to go a long way to block Elijah Roberts, and he's the point man. He makes that block. Maffa runs off him. They convert.
Here's Wesco already with the first multiple touchdown game of his freshman season. Kobe Wilson tackled him. 7 on that play for Clemson. Been a frustrating year for Dabo Swinney. They're 9-3. Feels like it should be better. He said we just need to get out of our own way. We haven't really put a complete game together, and a lot of times it's self-inflicted mistakes. So far, they've avoided those for the most part. Errant throw there from Maffa.
The thing about this Clemson team, though, Sean, is when they've played well and when they've revved their engine, and albeit I don't think NC State's a great football team, but what Clemson did to NC State was insane. And they did that time and time again in the first half of the season. So they just had some ups and downs, but at their best, they can go with anybody.
Only 1 win over a team with a winning record. That's Pittsburgh, which ended at 7-5 after a 7-0 start. 4 out of 6 on 3rd down. Klubnik incomplete. Lunging effort by TJ Moore. And now a decision to make with the field goal woes. Pressure again and a miss by Hooser. It's a manageable 4th down, but they're going to take their chances with a field goal try again.
Watch the left side of this field goal protection unit. The last time looked like Mod Moses ran right between the tight end on the left side and the wingman on the left side. So watch the left side and see if they try to attack that spot again.
He's had 5 blocked, and then Robert Gunn tried one against the Citadel, and he had 1 blocked. SMU moved. They don't want to jump offside. It would be a Tigers' first down. That's what Clemson was hoping to do.
Clemson.
So let's see if Dabo will leave the field goal team out there or go for it on 4th down. Tigers up 21-7 in the ACC Championship Game. Taco Bell Live Más student section, we think. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more.
Rodney Dangerfield went back to college.
Yeah, that was
too.
graduate school, I think. So they are going to stick with the field goal try for Hooser. Freshman from Cornelius, North Carolina, from right here in the Charlotte area. 66 field goals in high school, the all-time national record. And pressure again from his left, but that time he drives it through from 44. Fell Sunday at 10 a.m. The Countdown crew on ESPN and the app. They'll have the early breaking stories, injury updates, previews of each game right up to kickoff. And then cap week 14 with Monday Night Football on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. It's everywhere. Cincinnati and Dallas. Special Simpsons broadcast. Who doesn't love the Simpsons? Streaming on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, called the Simpsons Fun Day Football. Game transformed real time and animated into the iconic world of the Simpsons. I know who'll be watching that. My brother Ryan. No bigger Simpsons fan. He might have grown out of that now.
Really? I think the McElroys will have the Simpson broadcast on as well, with 3 kids under 5.
Robert Gunn, another touchback.
So far, Clemson's defense has been really disciplined. They've done a great job. They've only rushed 3 here, but look at the linebackers. Look how quickly they close, and look at the coverage downfield. It's excellent. They're just draped all over these wide receivers. There's nowhere for Kevin Jennings to go. And then they try to go a little misdirection, fake it out to the left. Doesn't fool Denhoff whatsoever. He stays at home, but look at the coverage downfield. There's nowhere for Jennings to go. They've been very disciplined so far in the first quarter and change of this ball game, not allowing the scramble plays that allow SMU to thrive.
Out of the pistol, Rashard Smith finds some room. And he gets dragged down across the 45 by Khalil Barnes. 21 yards for Smith.
I mean, that guy did not play wide receiver. That is a running back right there.
Incredible.
That was an unbelievable cut. Great vision.
Jennings, and incomplete. Jaden Lucas had very tight coverage on Moochie Dixon. The largest deficit SMU has faced all season. They were down by 11 in the season opener against Nevada and rallied to win 29-24.
The good news if you're SMU, though, Sean, is that they have that tempo. That's who they are. That's their identity. They can score points quickly, but they got to quit making the mistakes. Penalties and turnovers are killing it.
Feels like a very important drive for them here. 5-man rush. It's blocked, and Jennings, nice tackle by Avion Terrell on Jordan Hudson. They're playing without Jake Bailey, who was their leading receiver last year, and R.J. Maryland, a great tight end. Both of them injured and not here tonight, but still plenty of depth at both positions.
Well, most of the third downs here, Clemson has been rushing just 3 defensive linemen. This time, does Wes Goodwin, the defensive coordinator, decide to bring pressure? Is this the time he blitzes? That's what I would do, maybe catch SMU off guard.
The huddle by SMU, a rarity. Looked like Clemson might have been offside. TJ Parker apparently timed it perfectly and drops Jennings for a loss for Wes Goodwin, the defensive coordinator.
Well, a lot of movement before the snap, but they anticipate quarterback run. They bring a little pressure, run stun inside, and a great play, too, by Woodaz at the second level, kind of blowing things up, forcing Jennings to cut back to his left where he had some help. Just a great defensive play by the Tigers.
So here's Isaac Pearson to punt again. Antonio Williams back for it. Takes a great bounce for SMU and goes out of bounds near the 6. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, a lot of the talk all week leading up to this was about SMU's situation. Number 8 team in the college football playoff. And the debate about if they lose tonight, would they fall right out of the college football playoff field? I think the one thing they absolutely cannot afford is to get blown out here tonight. A lot of football left, but if they get blown out, I think their argument's going to have a tough time with the committee.
I think it's really an uphill battle at this point. They need to show some life here at the end of this first half and then into the second half, because they came into this game with the second weakest strength of schedule in the Power 4. But when you look at what Rhett Lashlee's team's accomplished, they've played great throughout the season, so a tremendous argument to be had on their behalf. But man, if they get blown out against the best team they play, it's not a good look.
Here's Maffa with the worst starting field position. He wasn't worried about protecting his shoulder there as he ran over Kobe Wilson. Molly?
Well, Sean, Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik's left hand has been taped. Athletic training staff keep trying to tend to it and check on him, and he keeps waving them off, but he was opening and closing it, testing the mobility of his hand. So that's something to keep an eye on for the rest of this game, guys.
You have to wonder, maybe it was on that hit that he fumbled on. He took a big hit and taken a few hits tonight, so keep an eye on that hand and make sure it doesn't have an impact on the ball handling for him when he's handing it off, or quick catch and throw.
2nd and 2, Maffa. Excellent penetration by SMU, and out of bounds goes Maffa. Brandon Crossley there. That's a huge play, because if Clemson converts on this possession here, this first set of downs, they're thinking about running out the clock here to end the half, but now it's SMU, perhaps with a chance to get the ball back with excellent field position. Huge 3rd down here, 3rd down and 6.
And you would think some teams would probably be thinking, maybe do you burn a timeout here on a 3rd and improbable, but with how Clemson's played on 3rd down, 4 for 7 tonight, I don't think it's wise to call timeout before the 2 minutes. So save that for the offense when they get back on the field if you can stop them here.
So often now, those decisions are analytics driven.
Right.
So 2 minutes to go, first half. Wesco 2 touchdowns. Brenningstool had 1. 3 touchdown passes thrown by Klubnik. 24-7 Clemson. It did not look good for Jay Haynes. They helped him off, and then when he got close to the medical tent, he tried to put weight on his left leg, and his left knee kept buckling. So Phil Maffa, playing through the shoulder injury and ineffective again so far tonight, is thrust back in the primary role at running back. He has 5 carries for just 14 yards. Cade Klubnik looked toward Maffa, instead fired for Cole Turner, who dropped the ball. First time they've targeted Turner tonight. He was the co-star here 2 years ago in the ACC Championship win over North Carolina alongside Cade Klubnik. Got a 100-yard receiving game, just his 2nd game of the season.
One of the fastest guys on the team, too, so they try to get him going at some point if they want to make a deep playoff run, assuming they continue to hold on here.
Klubnik, that one is caught for a first down. Wesco banged down by Kobe Wilson. 16 yards and a first down for Wesco with 2 touchdowns in the first half.
And this secondary is just struggling right now against excellent wide receivers. Wesco's got so much speed, they're scared of him running deep, so sits it down to the curl and easy completion.
Klubnik got away from the rush and throws too high. Over the head of Antonio Williams. Brandon Crossley of the coverage. Well, as we mentioned, if there was a perceived weakness of this defense for SMU, it's the cornerback play. And last time you and I and Molly and our great crew saw the Clemson Tigers was at Pittsburgh on November 16th, and they had a 17-7 lead at the half in that game. Really were controlling the game, and they did nothing until and actually squandered the lead, and then won it when Klubnik had that memorable 50-yard touchdown run with 1:16 to go. He took off running there on the quarterback draw, didn't get much. Jafari Harvey made the tackle. We talked to Cade Klubnik about that the other day, and it's one of the things he said. We can't sit on leads, we can't take the foot off the gas pedal, and that's true again tonight.
It absolutely is, especially against an offense like SMU that once they get in rhythm, they can score points in bunches. And this is still a really good defense. The secondary's had challenges tonight, though. So big down here for SMU's defense to get off the field early in the second half.
Clemson had just 2 first downs in the second quarter. It's a blitz. Klubnik throws, broken up. Well played that time by Brandon Crossley, the transfer from Colorado State, who had the coverage on Bryant Wesco.
That's now 3 curl routes or comeback routes by Clemson in the first 4 or 5 plays. And now the 3rd time they try to go back to it, Crossley squats on it, makes the break, and knocks it down. So they might need to stutter go and run past him next time out if you're Clemson.
3rd punt for Aiden Swanson. Short. And now it starts rolling back, so it'll be down by Ronan 26-yard line. 41-yard punt.
First half was really a lot of mistakes by the SMU offense. Started early with a fumble forced by TJ Parker, and then Jennings throws it away and right in the waiting arms of Barnes, and then a missed field goal that came up just a little bit short. What we didn't show you were 3 15-yard penalties as well that gave great field position, so a lot of mistakes.
Haynes getting on the cart. Looks like he's finished for the night. Here's Jennings. Scrambled away and got a yard, shoved out by R.J. Mickens. It was a question mark during the week. Mickens got injured late in the game against South Carolina last week. Actually got injured on the turned out to be the winning touchdown run with just more than a minute to go by Lenora Sellers. Jennings winds up and fires, and a nice catch for a first down. Hands catch by Romello Brinson with Avion Terrell in coverage. 12-yard gain. Four-man rush, better protection than we saw in the first half. Brinson again taken across the sideline by Wade Woodaz.
That's going to be really important here in the second half, as that protection needs to be better, more sound, and Jennings can help his offensive line out a lot by getting rid of the ball a little quicker than he did in the first half.
Fake to Smith, and a good one, and Jennings slides down after he got the first down. He has championship game experience. He started. His first career start was in the American Athletic Conference title game last year against Tulane. Led him to a win in New Orleans. Has a man open, and it is caught by Roderick Daniels Jr. If he didn't have to dive for it, it was likely a touchdown. But they're at the 12-yard line after a 37-yard play.
Wow, what a catch by Daniels. Unbelievable play.
They go quickly after the big play. Rashard Smith weaves his way for 3. Peyton Page made the play, playing his 52nd game in the middle of that defensive line for Clemson. What a catch.
Let's go back. I mean, just unbelievable to snag it. That ball's out in front. He lays out, brings it in, and secures it with his right hand. Just an incredible effort and play.
4 catches. He's a guy they can play all over the place, all the wide receiver positions, and he has 43 carries for the year entering tonight. Kevin Jennings and the SMU Mustangs trying to get back in the game. He has his receiver open after the fake touchdown. Great call and beautifully executed. Rashard Smith has the touchdown for SMU. What a year for Smith. An extra point up and good. His 4th receiving touchdown to go with his 14 rushing touchdowns.
And watch Barrett Carter's eyes and how they're just quickly affected by Kevin Jennings. He fakes like he's going to step up, quarterback run, even gives him a little bit of a fake to the flat, and then his running back Rashard Smith goes right around him. He's wide open in the back of the end zone. That was just a really neat design by Rhett Lashley, and a great play by his quarterback, Kevin Jennings. What a way to start the second half for SMU.
Rashard Smith, 9 transfers from Miami to come to SMU. And what a tremendous addition he has been. And meanwhile, the plot thickens now for Clemson. Phil Maffa clearly still not himself. Their lead running back, Jay Haynes, injured. Doesn't look like he's going to come back. The true freshman David Eziomume back deep for the kickoff. Of course, Haynes may regret his decision to run the last kickoff back. It's Eziomume who muffs the kickoff. He's returned only 1 all year, and Clemson got it back, but they'll start at the 11-yard line. Here's Molly.
Sean, you mentioned Maffa is dealing with the shoulder injury. Dabo Swinney told us Maffa suffered a left labrum injury in camp, and he's been playing through pain since, but it's worsened and started to affect his play. And Swinney's message to Maffa tonight is, be honest with us. Don't be a liability, but he's been in the coach's ears kind of lobbying to play a little bit more, and now he's going to be even more important with Jay Haynes in the locker room, guys.
So they go to Keith Adams now. No, it is Maffa who's out there. Keith Adams would likely be next on the depth chart. He's more of a short yardage running back. Maffa cutting across the formation and a hard-earned 4 yards. Kobe Wilson made the tackle.
They're just going to still continue to lean on Maffa. He might not have as much ability to break tackles as he did with both good shoulders, but still a big part of this offense. And remember, that SMU defense very aggressive on the last couple downs. Let's see if they try a double move at some point in the stride.
Maffa 1,000-yard season, the first of his career. TJ Moore the catch. 12-yard gain, first down. Big night for both true freshman wide receivers. Moore and Wesco both came in with more than 500 yards receiving. The only freshman duo in the country with 500 yards receiving or more.
They're just getting started too. They are going to be big time, like some of the great ones at Clemson over the years.
They got Tyler Brown back from injury tonight. He's missed most of the second half of the year. Wesco a nice catch. Goes down 2 yards short of the first down. Tyler Brown was their leading receiver last year. We haven't called his name tonight. He did practice this week, and they said he'd be available, but mostly to provide depth.
This would be a spot here where I would try one of those double moves. And knowing, hey, you come back on 3rd and short and probably get it. See if you can't throw one deep here.
Maffa first down. Wesco up to 6 catches for 120. And 2 touchdowns. His career high in receiving yards in the game is 130 against Stanford. He had 2 100-yard plus games in the regular season. The other was against App State.
He'd be the guy at target. He's got tremendous top-end speed, and doesn't matter how fast you are as a defender, it's tough to stay on top of him.
9 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. A blitz from deep doesn't get near Klubnik. Single coverage, hand fighting, and an uncatchable ball over the head of Wesco with Brandon Crossley in coverage.
And here it is. He told you it was coming. Here's a stutter go. Fakes the curl. This time it's really well played by Brandon Crossley. He kind of probably anticipated that too. He'd been squatting the last 3 or 4 curls. He stays on top of it that time, and it's well defended.
Crossley's playing in his 65th career game, so he probably knows those tricks by now. Transfer from Colorado State. That's more games played than anybody on this SMU team, and they have a lot of guys who played a lot of games. Klubnik throws, open receiver, Wesco again. And he's down at the 46-yard line.
So what does Clemson do? Say, all right, you were going to take away the deep ball? No problem. We'll go back to the curls that we've had success with. So this time, it's a really nice route by Wesco. Threatens over the top, sits it down. Plenty of space, and another completion for Wesco.
And a career high 135 receiving yards for Wesco. A long way to go. Not even midway through the 3rd quarter. And with an ineffective Maffa without Haynes, they're throwing the ball, and Crossley's been spun around a lot tonight. Looks like they're particularly trying to target him. Klubnik, the check down. And Brenningstool thrown down just shy of the 40 by Kobe Wilson. 5-yard gain.
Here comes number 6, Tyler Brown, who's into the ball game. It's good to see him back. Has had some injuries, but at times has been the best receiver on this roster, really mostly last year.
He was their leading receiver last year as a freshman when Antonio Williams missed most of the year. 52 catches last year. Has missed most of this season. Here's Cole Turner, and he gets collared and dropped for a 1-yard loss. Kobe Wilson was there with help from Ahmad Moses. a 1-yard loss.
And just a great job. This is a very aggressive defense, so misdirection can be your friend when working against him. But this time, Kobe Wilson sees it immediately and makes the play behind the line of scrimmage.
More than midway through the third quarter now. SMU's made it a 10-point game, and now the defense trying to get off the field. 3rd down and 6. Probably not in field goal range. Hoosier and Robert Gunn both have big legs, but this would be close to 60 on a chilly night. Klubnik, look out! He's sacked. Back in his own territory. Jafari Harvey, another Miami transfer with the sack. Their second.
And it was really both guys on the left-hand side. It's Roberts on the inside, Harvey on the outside. They both win. It's a race to the quarterback. Harvey gets there first. And it's a great, great play as the SMU sideline looks on with a lot of energy. It's going to the far side.
Clemson dominated early, helped by the SMU miscues. They've done very little since the first quarter, just 3 points, and momentum is on that Mustang sideline. Roderick Daniels Jr., the fair catch of the Swanson punt, a 39-yard boot. Jennings in the offense could really tighten this thing up when we come back. Goes directly to cancer research. So SMU down 24-7 at the half. Has taken 7 points off that deficit. They have the ball back with 6 minutes to go, and Daniels, that looked doomed from the start. He's dropped by R.J. Mickens for a loss of 3.
And this jet sweep is such a big part of SMU's offense, and they have had very little to show for it tonight. This Clemson defense very prepared for that speed across the field.
Jennings had to scramble away from the end zone, and he can't find anybody open, and finally throws it away with Peter Woods closing in quickly. He's elusive. He's a very good thrower on the run, but nowhere to throw it that time. 3rd down and 13, and it's the Clemson fans trying to spur on the defense.
And 3rd and long situations, when you're watching Clemson, you're always going to look in the direction of number 3, TJ Parker. He's already landed 1 tonight with a strip sack early. Let's see if he can land again in what looks like it's going to be a light rush from Clemson.
The last time we saw him, he had 4 sacks in that win at Pitt that tied the school record. Jennings fires, and it is broken up. Good coverage by the freshman Ashton Hampton on Keyshawn Smith.
Really well covered here. Hampton's press coverage locked all the way. Times it perfectly, gets out in front. Then the left hand reaches across to dislodge the football. Just perfect man coverage there played by Hampton.
5th punt for Isaac Pearson. Fair catch, Antonio Williams. Clemson will start at its 43. Big 3-and-out forced by the Tiger defense. 48-yard punt.
An unprecedented season comes down to this.
Tough decisions have to be made. Let's see where the committee landed.
The College Football Playoff Selection Show, Sunday at noon Eastern on ESPN.
Yeah, that's how I get by.
You don't know who I am. You can push through anything as long as you believe.
Our family calls Alex the Phoenix. He always rises from the ash.
Paterno never faced any charges, but he didn't escape judgment.
Who has like a career-defining moment at 37?
The whole country is watching, and the world is watching.
If you're a fan, what you'll see in the next minutes, hours, and days to follow may convince you you've gone to sports heaven. And right now, you're standing on the edge of tomorrow.
Booyah!
Cade Klubnik in the Clemson offense, prolific early. They were helped by great field position. The first two of those 3 touchdown drives started at the +33 and the +28. Then they had a 75-yard drive. 143 total yards in the first quarter, only 98 cents. Still leading by 10. Under duress, he throws it over the head of Jake Brenningstool, with Jafari Harvey putting pressure on Klubnik.
Feels like here early in the second half, this SMU defensive line had some life injected into it because they didn't really have much of an impact. And this is really the strength of this defense. I mean, they are deep along the front, they're disruptive along the front, and they were quiet in the first half of this football game. But so far, their presence starting to get felt by Cade Klubnik.
Maffa stacked up after a yard. Anthony Booker, better known as Tank. And he is Tank. We talked about how big their defensive line is. He's 348.
He's a big boy. He doesn't move like he's 348 either.
No.
He's pretty nimble there on the interior of that defensive line. But here on 3rd and long, this is the opportunity for Jafari Harvey, who had a sack to end the last drive, and Elijah Roberts, number 5. Those two guys will go to work in the lineup at the top of the screen. We're going to get to the left side of this offensive line.
Nearing 4.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Clemson hits on a slant. Antonio Williams, there's a flag down. Thrown in the defensive backfield. It might be the first penalty of the night against Clemson. And it would be a huge one if it is. You wonder if there was some sort of pick downfield.
That's what it looked like to me. Dabo's pleading his case, though, and there was definitely a collision between TJ Moore and Cale Sanders.
Wow. So they still haven't been penalized, and the 32-yard play stands.
And this is what they're looking at. Watch TJ Moore. He's trying to run his route, and I understand why they ended up calling it off, because yes, a natural pick is created, but he doesn't divert or intentionally go out of his way. He's trying to run a route and a collision occurs, but I actually am okay with the no call there. I think that's correct decision by this officiating crew to pick up the flag.
Huge call. Now they're in field goal range at the very least. Klubnik short throw, and it winds up as an 11-yard gain and a first down. On the catch by Josh Sapp, one of their backup tight ends, just his 6th catch of the year.
And I can understand why there's a lot of frustration on the SMU sideline, because there was a collision. Obviously, they created a pick, but it was a natural pick. And because of the route, it was just a really well-executed route that led to the big play.
Here's Maffa. Ducked down at the 11-yard line. What a huge penalty call that was. Kept the drive moving. Takes time off the clock. And really important that Rhett Lashley's defense forces a field goal try here. Touchdown and an extra point makes it a 3-score game. Klubnik peeps. Looks like he's just short of the first down. The officials are signaling 3rd down after a 5-yard pickup.
Short yardage situation. That usually means Maffa here at 230 pounds. Anticipate him pounding it up into the line of scrimmage here. See if they can't get this conversion. Probably 4-down territory, though. If I were Clemson, I'd keep the offense on the field for a touchdown.
Maffa got just enough. First down, the clock continues to run. The best of both worlds for Clemson. They don't have to snap it again till under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
This is a part of the field where you see very little throwing. from the Clemson Tigers. They'll throw some things at her behind the line of scrimmage, but this is mostly handoff time or Kate Klubnik on the ground when they get inside the 5.
Keith Adams, mentioned earlier, more of a physical runner, short yardage man, is the running back. And it's a design quarterback run for Klubnik following Adams. And he's knocked out at around the 2. They haven't been great scoring touchdowns in the red zone this year.
That is certainly one of their shortcomings. Just 81st in the country in red zone touchdown efficiency, so not very good. But they bring in the extra tight end, 44, Banks Pope. He's their physical hammer there at the end of the line of scrimmage. So let's see if they run behind 44. He's their most physical blocker on the edges.
9th play of the drive. Pitched back to Maffa, in trouble. And taken down back at the 6. The tank there again. Proud of that midsection.
I don't like that play call. I mean, that's 2 plays in a row now where you're trying to run to the edge against a very active and athletic defense. I mean, you're bigger, you're more physical. Why is Garrett Riley not trying to pound this ball up inside 3-4 straight plays with a 230-pound running back? I just don't know.
Booker comes out, but they do rotate liberally, play 8 or 9 along the defensive line. Play clock down to 5, 30 seconds in the quarter. Huge play here, 3rd and goal. They bring pressure. Touchdown, Jake Brenningstool.
Great recognition by Klubnik. You got blitzes all the way across. Brenningstool knows he has inside leverage, working against number 3, Ahmad Moses, and he's off too. So Brenningstool, he knows he's got him beat by leverage immediately. He turns around, the ball's on him. It's great throw, great timing, and terrific execution against the blitz called by SMU.
So here's Hooser. And that's a big extra point. Now it is a 3-score game. Well, the huge play on this drive was the 32-yard completion to Antonio Williams. It looked like it was going to be taken down. This is a 3rd and 9 play. Originally they threw a flag for offensive pass interference. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, what do you think?
Well, the offense definitely got what it wanted out of the play, but I didn't see any intent on the receiver to go in and make a block. I think there was just a lot of traffic and there was contact. I'm okay with picking up the flag.
And that's really good coaching, honestly. I mean, I know that, look, Rhett Lashley's an offensive guy. They do it too. It's the rules. So you can create rubs. Offense calls them rubs. Defense calls them picks. They just timed it up perfectly. It was a really good route by Williams to time it up as well. And really, it was the defender that almost initiated the contact.
There's Gunn to kick it off. They should just put the ball on the 25 when he kicks off. Save a little time.
At least keep the people in the first 3 rows safe in case he kicks it up in the stands.
Well, they have a lot of work to do, and they have to do it quickly. They're a quick strike team. Jay Haynes with a brace on his left leg on crutches back on the sideline. Final 23 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Each team has scored 1 touchdown in this quarter. Jennings keeps after the fake to Brashad Smith, and he hops ahead for about 8 on what might be the last play of the 3rd quarter. They're trying to get another one off. And they do on 2nd and 2. Smith lunges, and they're going to mark him down a little bit short on the last play of the 3rd quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. This is Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Coach, you just huddled up the entire team ahead of the fourth quarter. What did you say to them?
That's what we always do. We're going to finish the last 15 minutes. That's who we are. It obviously doesn't look good right now. We started the half well. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get the call on the OPI on the big third down play that allowed them to score on 2 big third downs that last drive. But we got 15 minutes, and we're going to give it our best for 15.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Yes, 3rd down and 1, and Jennings throws, caught. Daniels runs after the catch. There's a flag thrown. Clemson sideline thinks it's against SMU.
This might be OPI going the other way.
Offensive pass interference. The pass was touched behind the line of scrimmage. First down, SMU.
Good teamwork. Meanwhile, Dabo Swinney's team has still not been called for a penalty. Since 1952, the year before they were charter member of the ACC, they played 1 game without a penalty. It was last year in a win over Notre Dame, 31-23 in Death Valley. But penniltless tonight. They had 1 flag thrown on them. They got picked up. Here's a reverse. It's a flea flicker. Jennings throws. Tight end Hibner is open. He stumbles down. Probably wasn't going to reach the end zone, but he had a few more yards if he could have stayed on his feet. So nice call, well executed. And they're at the 22, and they're going quickly after a 30-yard gain. The transfer from Michigan, Hibner, who was on the national title team last year. Single coverage, lots of hand fighting. Keyshawn Smith and Avion Terrell. You know, Hibner's been a terrific player, especially the second half of the year. He caught 2 balls in 4 years at Michigan. He was stuck behind Colston Loveland, who's going to be a first-round pick in all likelihood. Great tight end. He has been a big factor for this team second half of the year.
No shame in not getting a lot of looks behind Colston Loveland, but man, he's been terrific, and he's exactly what the portal's all about. An opportunity to come play and be a star.
Fake to Smith, and Jennings got 2 after the keeper. They're at the 20. It's 3rd down and 8.
So far today, Clemson's been rushing just 3 guys along the defensive front. And at some point, they're going to bring a blitz. Wes Goodwin probably trying to catch this offense off guard. Do they rush 3 here, or do they blitz? If I'm them, I'm thinking about blitz and increasing the urgency for Kevin Jennings.
They've played excellent defense, particularly lately. Jennings on 3rd down, back shoulder, Hibner! Touchdown, SMU! Hibner had 2 catches in their first 7 games of the year, then had 15 in the next 5. And he had 2 big ones on this drive to keep hope alive for Eric Dickerson and the SMU fans here in Charlotte tonight. Colin Rogers to the extra point. Well, they scored, and they did it quickly. Took 2:01 off the clock to go 75 yards. Hibner 2 catches for 50 on that drive, and the touchdown. His 4th of the season. 13:22 to go. It's back to a 10-point Tiger lead. Well, we'll know the 12-team field tomorrow. The exclusive reveal in a 4-hour special. Reese and the guys unveiling the bracket, breaking down all the matchups in the inaugural 12-team playoff field. That's at noon on ESPN and the app right after Sunday NFL Countdown. Line drive kickoff skips into the end zone. Here's Kevin Nagandi. I know the analytics say to do that, but it just seems strange to me.
The analytics stuff, some of it's still very uncomfortable for me. I'm not gonna lie.
You're playing for the win.
Right.
not to tie it with another 7. Here's Phil Maffa, and he's down after a short gain.
This might be the plan of attack. Having a difficult time kind of running it between the tackles. This SMU defensive front played much better in the second half, so maybe just that's kind of like a handoff. It's like a toss sweep. So maybe get Maffa out to the edge a little bit where he can maybe make some guys miss that are a little bit smaller than him.
They've rushed for just 66 yards tonight. Maffa's their leading rusher with 26. Klubnik broken up off his back foot. Dangerous throw out wide. Broken up by Deuce Harmon. TJ Moore was the intended receiver.
Yeah, he kind of threw this a little nonchalantly. I wouldn't recommend throwing that into a squat corner again, because I would imagine that could go the other way. TJ Moore, though, is the go-to guy on 3rd and long situations. He'll be at the top of the screen. See if they look in the direction of number 1.
Bunch to Klubnik's left. They're 7 out of 14 on 3rd down. 3 for the last 3. 4-man rush. They force him back. They grabbed his face mask. Klubnik goes down. There's no flag on the field. And Jared Harrison Hunt took him down. Looked like they had a handful of the face mask. Dabo Swinney can't believe it. A huge no call. An 8-yard loss on the 3rd SMU sack was Cameron Robertson, who had a hold of the headgear.
Wow. I mean, what a huge break for SMU right there. I mean, that is a face mask plain as day, just missed by the officials.
So here's Swanson to punt. Unlike the last time we saw a Clemson game, we didn't have a penalty called after they watched the replay board. Fans still booing Roderick Daniels Jr. The punt return. Dabo Swinney still letting the officials have it. 45-yard punt, 10-yard return. It's about as mad as you can be when your team hasn't been called for a penalty all night long, but he has a totally legitimate argument there.
I just can't believe they missed. I mean, the center judge is right there, and I don't know if it's because he was turning back inside, but it looked like the helmet even went to the side as well, and it's completely understandable why Dabo has this reaction.
A long way to go, almost 12 minutes. It's a 10-point game again. And SMU with good field position from its own 45. Jennings started up as if he was going to run, then dropped back. Now he's scrambling for his life and throws it away. A.J. Hoffler is a backup defensive end, put some pressure on.
Clemson fans still beside themselves, booing in the direction of this officiating crew, but Jennings and company now need to get into a little bit of a rhythm. They've done a good job on the last drive. Can they continue to feature these wide receivers?
Rashard Smith sliced ahead for about 3 before he got stood up and sent back by Sammy Brown. A very rare talent. Wes Goodwin said it isn't very often, maybe once or twice in your career, you get to coach a young man like Brown. Has everything you're looking for. 3rd down and 6, probably 4-down territory. Jennings over the middle, dropped. Rashard Smith might have turned to see what he needed to do to get the 1st down, and the punt team's coming on.
Man, I mean, this is just so out of character for SMU. That's their 2nd drop tonight, at least, maybe more, but obvious drop right in the hands. He might tight turn, at least give you the chance to potentially pick it up, but just a huge mistake.
Are you surprised they're not going for this?
I'm not, with how their defense is played, and they don't want to give the ball back to Clemson in plus territory again.
Analytics, ESPN analytics say go for it. I'm surprised. Still down 2 scores. And that punt goes into the end zone, 51 yards, but just a net of 31. Big drop. 11:08 to go, a 10-point lead for Clemson. Dabo Swinney hoping to hoist the ACC Championship trophy for the 9th time. His team leads 31-21 with 11:08 to go. They still haven't been penalized. Cade Klubnik has tied Trevor Lawrence's touchdown pass record in an ACC Championship game. Trevor had 4 against Virginia 2019. And Kevin Jennings keeping SMU close with 2 touchdown passes here in the second half. They decided not to go for a 4th and 6 near midfield, down by 10, hoping the defense can force a quick 3 and out. Antonio Williams stopped after a 2-yard gain by Ahmad Moses and Jonathan McGill.
The defense has really settled in here in the second half, and really the last 2 quarters. I mean, they played pretty well in the second quarter and the third quarter, but there in the first quarter they were on roller skates. But I think Clemson's got to find something here, man. They haven't been able to run it, and the quick passing game is starting to be bottled up.
And Clemson took advantage of some shakiness early by SMU. Some key miscues that helped Clemson rush off to a big lead. Slant knocked down. Broken up by Deuce Harmon, intended for TJ Moore. And Rhett Lashley has the chance to get what he was hoping for when he decided to punt if he could get a 3 and out.
I would try and see if Harmon got a piece of this. He did. That's well defended there again by the SMU corners that have had some ups and downs tonight.
10:27 to go. This possession's taken only 41 seconds off the clock so far for the Tigers. Trying to give Dabo Swinney his 9th conference championship. Only Nick Saban's won more conference championship games, 11. And Klubnik forced to throw it away. Ahmad Walker put the pressure on, so a 3 and out. And it took only 47 seconds off the clock.
And this was a nice blitz. They walked this linebacker up to the middle, and as a result, these linemen all have to slide down, and you get the unblocked defender Walker right around the edge, forces the issue for Klubnik. He has to throw it away as a result. That's a good blitz call by Scott Simons, the defense coordinator.
Aiden Swanson to punt for the 6th time. They put pressure on it. It's a short punt. And it is down just about where it first landed by Barrett Carter. Just a 29-yard punt. And it was Ahmad Moses who came very close to blocking Aiden Swanson's punt.
Yeah, and you watch Swanson. He actually drifts just a little bit to his left, kicks it with his left foot. Had he been right-footed there, that punt is probably going to get blocked. Might have even gotten just a touch of it there with the fingertips there at the end. It was a really good rush and almost got it back to his offense inside the 10.
So 50-yard line is the starting position for SMU. 10:13 to go. Jennings. That was bizarre, but effective. Romello Brinson. A 7-yard, 8-yard completion. Looked like there was some confusion whether or not that was going to be a handoff. And then it looked like Jennings had no idea where to go for a moment. Second down. Jennings gets away, throws it laterally to Smith, who has the first down before he's wrestled down by Wade Woodaz. 9.5 to go and the clock running.
Excellent movement in the pocket there by Jennings. Looked like Parker was going to get another sack to his blind side, but he stepped up, evaded the rush, and found an outlet.
Jennings slides down. They mark it down where the slide began, so it's a pickup of 7. SMU battling from behind all night long. Trailed 14-0 out of the gate. Went down by as many as 17. They've made it to 10 down, and they're at least in field goal range now after the 5-yard run by Brashard Smith.
Can't take a sack here if you're Jennings, knowing that your field goal kicker missed short earlier.
Smith up to 96 yards rushing on 20 carries. Quick throw and catch, Romello Brinson. Ashton Hampton knocked him out of bounds. They're at the 20-yard line. And this possession has taken only a minute and a half off the clock so far. Clemson on its heels. High snap, flag down. Before the snap.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Number 53 is the center, Ja'Kai Clark, who started to guard at the beginning, yet he moved him to center when they jumbled that line around. Felt like they found the right combinations. 5 penalties for 55 yards against SMU. The clock is running, and they're taking a lot of time. Play clock's down to 10. Rhett Lashley trying to get him to speed it up. Don't know if Jennings is aware. Play clock at 3. They don't want to use a timeout, and they snap it with 1. Hebner dropped the ball. The 5th drop of the night. Again, might have been a case of turning to try to get the first down before he caught the ball.
And to keep things in perspective, this team as a whole had 6 drops this whole season. Tonight they've had 5. So the stage a little bigger, those hands becoming a little more slippery, and on a 3rd long, 2 downs to get it potentially, but I think you'd probably opt for the field goal if you don't get this one.
Could be a combination of the pressure, and as you said, cold temperatures. Neither team is used to playing in weather like this. The feels like temperatures 36. 3rd down and 9. Under 8 minutes to go. Jennings, short throw. There's a flag down. Keyshawn Smith made the catch. Sammy Brown made the tackle. Well, there's a flag down thrown by the center judge.
Holding. Offense.
Wow.
Number 54. 2-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, I saw on the left side as Bird was working against Parker. Watch his left hand. His left hand as he grabs and throws Parker to the ground. Watch that right there. Boom. That's exactly what the official saw. Is a good call. Just can't throw the best edge rusher in the ACC to the ground like that, or at least one of the best.
Again, the clock's running. And remember, we told you that Colin Rogers has a big leg, but now they're looking at a 52-yard field goal if they don't gain any more yardage. 3rd down and 19. Pressure from Parker, lobbed over the middle. And the catch by Smith, couple after the catch to the 29, make it a much more manageable field goal. Khalil Barnes the tackle. And here comes the biggest kick of Colin Rogers' career. Junior from Prattville, Alabama. Rhett Lashley hot at the officiating again. This is a 46-yard try. Missed from 53. Rhett Lashley told us last night, usually when he misses one, he bounces right back. And he does. It is a 1-score game and 6:56 still to go. Adam Savoie, it's a 5-yard penalty apparently here against Clemson.
Running into the kicker. Defense number 16. That penalty is declined.
Yep.
Field goal is good. Timeout on the field.
Still would have been 4th and about 9. Take the points to make it a 1-score game. 6:56 to go. The ACC title and a spot in the CFP on the line.
Rhett Lashley just beside himself a moment ago, wanting a roughing the passer call on the defensive end, TJ Parker. Big collision in the backfield. Lashley's so mad because a little earlier his defensive end was called for roughing the passer. That was a violent collision, but I was good with the no call. I didn't think there was anything too egregious done by Parker to warrant the flag.
Gabriel Lozano, who's their backup kicker, on for that directional kickoff and a fair catch made. So Clemson with a lot of game pressure on them now. Lead down to 7. AT&T's keeping you connected with our bracket insights. This has been the debate all week. Should SMU lose and go to 11-2, would they fall out of the 12-team bracket, and would Alabama get in?
Going to be a fascinating conversation in that committee meeting room, assuming this score holds. And, of course, tons of time left for SMU to come back and win this thing outright. But, man, the strength of schedule argument versus the consistency argument, it's a tough one.
Cade Klubnik carries for 3. Sign up now at ESPN.com for the first ever CFP bracket challenge. Well, I think the strength of schedule thing is really hard to ascertain. I mean, how do you determine how strong some of your opponents are? I mean, how good are, I think the ACC, as we've said, gets a bad rap. We saw how good Georgia Tech is. Louisville's a very good team. Syracuse is a good team. Duke's a good team. Now SMU didn't play all those teams. The one thing they didn't have on that graphic is losses to teams that have lost 6 games. Alabama has 2 of those. SMU doesn't have any. Wesco the catch. And again, if it comes to that, I don't have any sympathy really for anybody who's around 11, 12, 13. Don't be in that situation. Right. Play well enough to not even be in that debate.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I like 12 instead of 4. You could really feel for FSU last year.
Absolutely.
But, if you're number 13, 12, and you get bumped out, sorry. Be better. Don't lose 3 times.
Right, or 2 times in the case of Miami. You're right.
Yeah, Miami. I mean, just go to Syracuse last week and win. I know they're a really good team, but you had a chance.
I think the big conversation, though, is really more about conference championship games. And the fact that SMU is being measured against multiple teams, whether it's Alabama, South Carolina, Miami, teams that are not playing this weekend, whereas SMU has to put something on the line. So
there's still a lot to be determined here, and I do want to get back to that because, Rhett Lashley talked about it. Lane Kiffin mentioned it during the regular season. What is the incentive for a team like his that's number 8 and in the field to come play this game if you come trying to compete and win a championship and you lose and they take you out of the field and move teams that didn't even play in their conference championship game ahead of you? Maffa wrestled down, 5 minutes to go. Anthony Booker the stop. Here's 3rd down and long for Clemson. And their offense, this really is reminiscent of the game we saw at Pitt. It has gone to sleep. Last 7 possessions for Garrett Riley. 5 punts, the 1 touchdown in this half and the end of the first half.
The guy that's been relatively quiet on 3rd down all game today has been Antonio Williams. You have to wonder, their best receiver, he's lined up right here in the slot. Is that where you look on the most critical down of the game?
SMU playing way off on that side of the field, playing behind the line to gain at the moment. Play clock going all the way down. Enormous 3rd down and 7. Klubnik rolling out. Will he run for the line? He throws, and it's almost intercepted by Ahmad Moses. It was Antonio Williams he was trying to find. Looked like he wanted to run, Klubnik, but he made the decision he wasn't going to get to the line to gain.
Yeah, and it looked like he was trying to work Antonio Williams, who breaks out and then breaks in. But because of the defender underneath, number 24, Kobe Wilson, he's kind of talked out of that throw. He did have TJ Moore inside, but just kind of missed him. So I'm not sure who he was trying to throw to, but did have a chance had he looked in the direction of TJ Moore.
7th punt for Swanson. SMU will get the ball back with a chance to march down the field and perhaps tie it. Fair catch made by Daniels at the 21-yard line. 39-yard punt. This might be the most meaningful 4:05 of this college football season right now. Will it be Clemson or SMU getting the automatic bid? If SMU loses, what happens? Alabama's fate with an eye toward the playoff could be hanging in the balance here. But credit SMU, shaky early. They've come back to make it a game.
Yeah, they've really been the better team starting in the second quarter beyond. I mean, they've made some massive mistakes, but to still have a fighting chance. And you got to be thinking, too, if they score, do they go for 2? That could be a conversation as well.
Jennings sets and fires an errant throw. Trying to throw back to Jordan Hudson. SMU has now outgained Clemson by 70 yards, 379 to 309. Jennings 23 out of 40 for 248, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Clemson took advantage of a fumble recovery in a short field, a punt return with a penalty tacked on for an even shorter field to jump ahead 14-0. But SMU's had the edge in play since. 2nd and 10. Quick throw, Hibner. Wrestled down by Avion Terrell. 5-yard gain, 3rd and 5.
Not an automatic 4-down territory here. If you're Rhett Lashley, you still have 3 timeouts. Still can punt it away if you don't pick it up here, but on a critical 3rd down and 5, you want to be looking in the direction of your top receiver. And so far in the second half, it's been hit there, the tight end in the slot up top.
Rashard Smith, first down with 2 yards to spare. And they go quickly, 7-yard gain. And Smith, as he's done all season long, providing yardage on the ground and with his receiving. Field goal probably out the window now for SMU with the clock about to go under 3 minutes. 2 receivers wide either side. Big rush by Lawson. Jennings got away from him. Has a man open. Daniels. Another first down. They're out to the 47-yard line on a 14-yard pickup. Three receivers to the right. 2:35 to go. Jennings, single coverage. It is dropped. Moochie Dixon and Avion Terrell were hand fighting the whole way, and Dixon got clear but couldn't hang on.
Man, it looked like he was going to be able to reel that in, but a great play there by Avion Terrell, keeping that right arm engaged and kind of ripping that ball out. Just a tremendous defensive play there at the end.
2nd and 10. Rashard Smith bounced outside. And he's down at the Clemson 47. 3rd down and 4. Doesn't look like they're in any big hurry to snap it again before the 2-minute timeout. Rhett Lashley, I think, believes correctly that with the 2-minute timeout and 3 timeouts, he probably has enough time to let it go. But now it looks like they're going to try to snap it before the timeout. Jennings, Smith wide open. Another first down at the 40, and it will take us to the 2-minute stoppage with 1:56 to go. Wow. Still the lead for Clemson, but it's tenuous. The championship and a CFP berth on the line. Charlotte, the ACC Championship Game. SMU down by 17 points coming into this 4th quarter, is now down by 7 and on the move with 1:56 to go. 3 timeouts left. They're at the Clemson 40. Just a 3-man rush for the Tigers. Jennings to Rashard Smith. And the clock runs as he was stopped in bounds by Barrett Carter. No gain. Smith, a huge night, 102 yards rushing and 5 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown. It's what he's done all year long. 8th in the country in all-purpose yardage coming in. Again, Wes Goodwin rushes 3. Jennings pulls it down. Woodaz approaches. Receiver open. First down. Keyshawn Smith. They're at the 27-yard line with all their timeouts. And 1:22 to go.
What's been really impressive, too, is Kevin Jennings in the pocket. The pass rush has not been able to get home, and Jennings doing a great job keeping his eyes downfield and finding guys that are uncovered when he threatens to run.
Jennings looking to the sideline for help. He's had trouble hearing tonight. Play clock at 2 as they snapped it. Smith to the 22-yard line. Another tackle for Carter. Do you like the pace at which they're going, Greg? Still 1:10 to go and 3 timeouts?
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. And especially with the 3-man rush, you can continue to run the ball if you like it.
Rashard Smith stood up just shy of the line to gain. Now they're under 1 minute to go. Rhett Lashley calls the plays with a lot of input from Casey Woods, the offensive coordinator.
Now they need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to use their first timeout.
Looks like somebody's hurt too.
And it's the center, Ja'Kai Clark, who's second team All ACC. Wonder if that's a cramp, the way they're stretching that leg.
One would assume, absolutely. And the good news is they do have a very veteran player that will slide down to center, Justin Osborne, who's played a ton of football, started his season as the starting center, so he can slide down to center now for this one snap that Clark has to miss.
What a time for that to happen, though.
Right.
You know, Osborne started the opener center, moved to right tackle, then moved to right guard. He'll likely slide into the center spot. They have an experienced backup guard in Ben Sparks, who started last week against Cal. He would be likely to come in. But what a time for that to happen. You wouldn't expect to cramp up on a night with the temperature in the high 30s. They've been out there a lot.
I think it's also important, if you're Rhett Lashley, to kind of make sure that his team understands the situation here. Talk through it. Hey guys, we have 2 timeouts. There's 50 seconds left. You have to play with urgency. Don't let them lay on top of you and let unnecessary seconds wind off the clock.
Well, job one is pick up this first down. I don't think they want to be stuck with a 4th down and 1. Osborne is the center. Rashard Smith, the running back, on the left hip. He gets the first down to the 15-yard line. Lashley wants them to line up quickly. They are going to substitute, get Daniels back in the game. They take out Eby, who comes in short yardage as an extra blocker, fullback tight end type. Clock running again, 40 seconds to go. They're at the 16-yard line. 13th play of the drive. Jennings, incomplete. Threw it to the outside with Woodaz in coverage. If that was inside, he was eyeing a pick. Keyshawn Smith, the intended receiver.
And with how Clemson's really dropping out and kind of keeping things in front, I would just continue to lean on Rashard Smith. I'm not talking about handing it off, but he's been very, very good on this drive. 3 receptions on this drive by itself. I'd try to get Rashard Smith, the running back, involved in the passing game here, working against the linebacker and true freshman Sammy Brown.
SMU looking for its 10th straight win. Jennings in the flat. Smith thought about trying to advance it and then ran out of bounds to stop the clock. 4-yard gain, 3rd down and 6 with 26 seconds to go.
And on this drive earlier, similar down and distance, 3rd down, it was Smith on a little option route that picked up not 1 but 2 3rd down and medium. So that'd be the play I'd be going to again. Clemson hasn't had a chance here in the 2-minute drill to adjust to that formation and that route, so I'd go right back to it with Smith.
They have a lot of options. Deep receiving core, a tight end who's really emerged. Jennings pulls it down. Jennings throws. Hibner caught it. Out of bounds with a 1st down at the 4-yard line with 20 seconds to go.
Wow, what a play by Kevin Jennings. I mean, just incredible. A little shovel pass. Hibner coming across the formation to give him a fresh set of downs. Just
incredible. They talk about his poise. One of the first things Lashley noticed when he recruited him out of South Oak Cliff High School. Unflappable, especially after the very rough start. He's thrown for 306. 10 seconds on the play clock. Still the 2 timeouts. Not much pressure. Jennings, side of the end zone. Touchdown! Roderick Daniels Jr. And Rhett Lashley has sent the kicker on to tie it and play for overtime. Was it a catch? Yes. No juggle. Foot in bounds.
Wow, what a route, what a throw, what a drive for the SMU Mustangs.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at it. And I think this is really bad work by the replay booth. I mean, right? Is there any question that that's a catch?
Remember, I mean, it has to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn it. I don't see anything right there after one look. Looks like that right foot is dragging. He's secured it, maintains it all the way through. There shouldn't be anything but a confirm.
Yeah. But meanwhile, the replay booth is now freezing the SMU kicker who's about to attempt the biggest point after of his life. Yeah. On a play that is clearly a touchdown. What a drive, assuming it stands. 79 yards, 16 plays, 349.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
There's Colin Rogers, who has not missed a PAT all year. Jennings was 9 out of 12 for 62 on the drive. Imagine what this man's heart rate is like right now. It is good. And we're 16 seconds away from overtime. And I have seen enough. This team belongs in the field of 12 in the college football playoff. This is a championship drive.
How about this route by Daniels? Sets up Barnes at the inside. Then he goes up, sets him up top, gives him a little shimmy at the top of the route, breaks it off with suddenness right to the sideline where the ball is waiting for him. It's just perfect execution against man coverage. And Rhett Lashley loves it, whereas Dabo seeing a 17-point fourth quarter lead evaporate right in front of him. And now this game might
getting some laps in.
Yeah, now this game potentially going to extras. Wild, man. Absolutely wild.
And no question, right, about the decision to kick the extra point. I think, why go down to 1-2 point play when you have the game going your way now?
The momentum is on them.
Go to overtime. You're executing. Clemson is not. Adam Randall back for the kickoff. Adam Randall bringing the kickoff back. And now they're one completion away from perhaps a chance to kick a field goal.
Now this is something you rep every single week leading up to spring scrimmages, fall camp. Now you run basically your plays to secure a field goal and give your kicker a chance. You're probably going to drop Cade Klubnik back, roll him out probably to the right and try to hit someone on the boundary, but you still have timeouts at your disposal, so you can work the middle of the field as well. You need about 15 or 16 yards to give yourself a real chance and a real look.
So Adam Randall with Jay Haynes, who's ordinarily back there to run back kickoffs, injured. His first kickoff return of the year is 39 yards. And they have two kickers with a strong leg. Hooser, who's ordinarily the field goal kicker, but Gunn, the kickoff man, has an even stronger leg. It is Hooser who's warming up. His long is 51 in that win at Pitt. What a huge return by Randall. So realistically, they only need about 20 yards to at least send the kicker onto the field.
This is a pretty simple situation. What I would do is I would take this receiver down here at the bottom. I'd run him right over the middle, tell him to go down the second he catches it, call timeout, and you give yourself a chance.
Four receivers. Four-man rush. Klubnik throws. Caught. Antonio Williams dives down with 3 seconds to go. They're at the 38.
Timeout. Clemson, their second.
And now they have a chance to win the ACC title and go to the CFP if they can make about a 55-yard field goal. Hoosiers had only one attempt all year from 50 plus, and it was that 51-yarder he made at Pitt. True freshman from right here in the Charlotte area. A Clemson legacy. His mom was a great soccer player. His dad, a baseball pitcher on a College World Series team. His sister's on the Clemson soccer team right now. And he has a chance to make a name for himself forever if he can knock this through. He has not been in this situation before. One of the great high school kickers in the history of the United States. It'll be a 56-yarder. The wind really not a factor. Snap and hold are good. That one is good! At the buzzer! Clemson wins the ACC.
Wow. Perfect snap, perfect hold, and just an absolute rocket off the foot of Hoosier. Cleared with about 3 or 4 yards to spare. He wanted to see it all the way through, and then the celebration ensues in agony on the SMU sideline. Thinking they had secured all momentum. We're heading to overtime, and Dabo does it again.